We want to welcome to the Mike Finch Show a very special guest today, a friend of mine from way back at Energy Mixed Martial Arts. I was training with Yari 10 years ago, and today he is boxing. He's in the ring competing. He is a bodybuilder. He is a manager for a phenomenal supplement company that I've been able to have the pleasure to try out. Just from his kind heart, he sent me some supplements to try out, and they have been really helping me out. So I got a lot of ground to cover with him today. A gem of a human being. Good to see you, Yari Kaganovsky. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm great. It's glad to be on, and thank you for that awesome introduction. I'm very, very humbled. Thank you.
Yari, when I see you posting on social media, when I see you doing your thing, I feel like you want to help people. Like when I was reading, I'm reading about what you say about pre-workouts, and you're like, don't take the full thing. Like I'm thinking, okay, this guy's a manager of a supplement company. You wouldn't be telling people take less of my product, right? But Yari, you really try to help people out as you post. And I see what your shirt says right there. It says underdog on it. So Yari, could I start off by reading you this quote and you tell me what you mean by this? You said,
Okay.
I forever stand with and represent all of the people that have been told they can't do something. We're going to keep on putting in overtime until we reach our goals. Underdogs for life. Yari, have you ever been told you can't do something?
To this very day, I get told that, and that's why my work ethic is what it is, to keep on pushing. And I know there's a lot of people out there that get told the same thing, and I want them to know that nothing is impossible. You can do anything. So it took me 8 or 9 years to win my first bodybuilding show.
Wow.
And I never stopped. I was told I couldn't win because of all my tattoos, because I tore my chest 3 times, because my legs were too small. I can give you a million different reasons. I just kept going and going. I think I had like 13 second places.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So it took like 8 years, 9 years or something like that for me to finally win one bodybuilding show. And I won my first fight at 43 years old on my 43rd birthday.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Badass, man. You
So I get
don't let
told it all the time. Even when I decided to come back to boxing, people were like, dude, what are you doing? You're too big. You were too away from the sport for too long. Like, you can't do this. You're not going to be able to transform your body. How are you going to get your cardio up? How are you going to get your conditioning up? Like, it's a bad idea. I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I did it, and I'm still doing it, and I'm not done. I still got goals.
I believe you 100%. I was digging back in, and before one of your fights, you had a lot of adversity. Let me see if I could get all the injuries here. Before one of your boxing matches, you started off months out with a concussion, so you could only like body box and hit mitts and bag, right? Then you had 3 ulcers, a bone spur in your hip. You had a partially torn groin. Yari, how the hell are you still getting out there and boxing? And tell me, you won this fight?
I won the fight, 3rd round TKO stoppage. I would have got him out of there the 2nd round, but it took a little longer than I expected. So, but yeah, I went through a lot. And the point was, like, I was right there, like, conditioning wise, I was great. Besides the injuries, which sucked, I was like, I'm going to get through it. I just, I pushed too hard, and I was like, no matter what, I'm going to do this. And I had that attitude that if I didn't win, it was forever going to haunt me as a human being, not as an athlete, or anything like that, but as a man. Like, I needed this victory to fulfill my life. Like, it meant that much to me. And before I got picked up to go to the fight, I remember I literally went upstairs and I looked in the mirror and I said to myself, I said, you put in the work, everything that you've been through, you're either going to win or lose. It's up to you tonight. And I said it to myself, and I went out there and did what I had to do. And it was an amazing feeling, just amazing. I know everything that I've been through just made me push that much harder. So I'm still dealing with the hip and the groin to this very day. Like, the hip is not curable. I had an MRI done and everything for it, and it's just one of those things.
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, they say, right?
Yes.
Yari,
If
where
you
does
got
that mindset come from, man? Were you born with this mindset? Did you develop this mindset? Because I've got to say, like, I don't know if you remember, Conor McGregor was supposed to fight Rafael Dos Anjos, and Dos Anjos like fractured his toe or something and pulled out of the fight. It's like people will, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars, Yari. Here you are, you're in your 40s, you're in a boxing match you're probably not getting paid very much for,
nothing,
and
nothing.
you go through all that adversity to still compete. Where does this drive come from?
I always tell people, like some people need motivation as far as like they need to see a movie, they need the music, something like, and I'm not putting myself on any pedestal by any means. I just internally have it. Like I want to
uh,
train. Like I'm
uh,
not that guy that wakes up in the morning and says, shit, I have to do my cardio. It's like, no, I want to do my cardio. I want to go to the gym. Like if there's family stuff going on, I'll move stuff around to make sure that I get my training in. Like that's just what I literally love to do. And if
mm,
I don't do it, then like I just don't function right. Like I'm like obsessed, literally obsessed. And it's not because for the wrong reasons, just because I really love it. On an amateur basis as a boxer, I'm not going anywhere. Like I'm not going to get paid. There's no, limelight or anything like that. I just literally love it that much, and it's such a challenge. And of all people in combat sports, you can learn every single day. Like you could pick up something every single day. And I love that. I love being a sponge. I love going to different gyms. I love working with different coaches. I love sparring with different guys. I literally love it. Like that's all I can say. Like I love it and I'm obsessed with it. And that's all I want to do. Even on my days off, I'm like, should I train? Like I'll do some active recovery and stuff, but I love it that much. I currently right now I'm training, I'm putting in 11 sessions a week. So on Monday through Friday, I train in the mornings and then I train at night. And on Saturdays is just sparring. I've been going to Rothwell MMA with Big Ben. And oh my God, let me tell you, those guys are on a different level over there.
they spar hard, don't
They
they?
spar really hard. And it's all fight team over there. So what's really cool is it's not just like open to the public when we're there. It's the fight team that spars. So obviously they're MMA guys, but when I rotate with them, we just do hands, which is good for them because they get extra boxing.
Mhm.
But it's really, really helping me out. And then, so Saturday is the only day that I only do one because it's hard sparring. And then Sunday, I'm either completely laid out or I'll do some active recovery. But I'm just obsessed, man. I love it.
I
Literally,
I
like, and
can
that
tell.
comes internally. Like, there's no forcing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can tell you love it, man. I've actually gone over there to Rothwell MMA in Kenosha, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've sparred myself, and I brought in my little shin guards, and I had like maybe 14-ounce gloves. They're like, no, 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 you got to put on the 16s or the 18s. They wanted me to have these big shin guards on, and I'm thinking, what's the deal? What was wrong with my shin guards? After I was done sparring, then I understood. Okay, there's no like touch sparring moving
No.
around, right? They put their gum shield in and they go toe to toe and they
Yes.
throw down. How is it still fun for you to go slug it out with these kids over there at Rothwell? I mean, I know they've had some really, really good heavyweights, and Big Ben himself,
Well,
right, competing in bare knuckle fighting championships. You're part of the team at this point, right? I mean, I know you guys signed Big Ben Rothwell onto your supplement company, Condemned Labs, and he's representing you guys now. So what, you're gonna walk him out in his next fight? Are you part of the team now, Yari?
I'm just honestly, Ben is a great guy. He's got like this crazy energy and vibes to him. He looks so scary, but he's so funny and he's so humble and he's so helpful. And him allowing me to go train there with his fight team and those guys all helping me, it's just an honor. Like I'm so thankful. And him being on Condemned is just huge because of what he brings to the table, being who he is and just his
Yeah.
energy. You know what I mean? So it just works out, like him and I just vibed right away. You know what I mean? Even though I gotta like look up at him, it's
I
just
saw the stare down.
dude, the guy's 6'4", 300 pounds. He's just a beastly guy. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you got to spar with him when you were there, but when he
Thank
throws
God,
punches,
no.
yeah, like his, pitter patter punches hurt.
Yeah.
They jerk your neck back and everything. So, But man, it's just an awesome, humbling experience. And his team is over there. Like, they're just awesome guys. They're well trained, well disciplined, and they know what they're doing. So quick shout out to Rothwell MMA.
Yeah, big shout out to him, man. And very cool that you guys are sponsoring them and whatnot. And Yari, I appreciate you giving me, the opportunity to come train with you. Last time I was there for Christmas, I was running around, and I didn't have enough time, but I will definitely come by and see you guys when I come back to
That'd be
Chicago
awesome.
again, man. And I appreciate that invitation, of course. It's very cool to see you keep going. Big Mark, your boy, right? You guys,
Yeah.
you guys are still getting it all these years later. Here I'm thinking like, Mark might be done. No, I see him in the pictures with you, man. You guys
Yeah.
are still getting it right now. So shout out to Mark as well, man. All love to you guys.
He definitely helps me out, man. He's in the gym and he'll do drills with me. He'll be like a bully for me because he's bigger. I'll have him
Right.
push me around the ring and all that stuff just so I get used to bigger, heavier guys. He'll help
Yep.
me with whatever I need. It's great to have that support. So it's like I
Good human.
actually, I don't even know. I did the Golden Gloves with Jeff Kern in like 2009 or something like that. I don't even know. But I was out of the sport as far as competing for like forever. And then, like, I've always liked it and kept up with it as far as watching it. I'd hit the bag here and there. And then I started slowly but surely getting back into striking. I was going to a different gym while I was bodybuilding. It wasn't easy because just what it does to your body. And then I was told by a coach I was working with at the time, a couple weeks before the bodybuilding show, he's like, no more of the striking, it's affecting your muscles. I said, okay, I did what I had to do. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, I'm enjoying the striking more than the bodybuilding. And I knew that was going to be my last bodybuilding competition. So I got done with bodybuilding and literally, like, something inside me said, you have unfinished business with
Yeah.
boxing. Like, that's always been your favorite thing ever since you were a kid. Let's give it a go, you know? So April 2021, I decided to make that commitment and I haven't looked back.
Are you done with bodybuilding? That's it.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I've accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish as far as
nice.
bodybuilding. Yeah.
Good for you, man. Oh, I had no idea you did so many competitions. I
I
don't know if you
actually,
saw, I've posted once or twice. My sister Melanie Finch just started bodybuilding, and
did
she
she?
actually won a couple amateur competitions so
That's
far.
awesome.
So, yeah, she's
I was on
way more ripped
stage.
than me, bro. I gotta get her some condemned lab sups. I
Yeah,
gotta
we have
hit
to
you
do
up
it.
for her, man. She's
Yeah.
she's killing it. And
I was on stage, I think, a total like 24 times. And it's
wow,
funny because the very first time I got on stage, there was somebody that said to me, dude, you're not going to do well because of your legs. Literally, my very first time on stage, some older guy said that to me. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, okay, well, your upper body doesn't really impress me either. But because it's crazy because he opened his mouth and he ended up like cramping up and he had to get off stage. Like, he didn't even finish. And I ended up getting second place my first time out.
wow.
But I literally, you talk about the underdog thing and told you can't do something. I was told literally before getting on stage from somebody that I'm not going to do
Yeah.
well because my legs were underdeveloped.
And
So
here you are. You kept freaking going, and you got that first place eventually. Man, what you guys go through for bodybuilding is just so extreme to me. That's the part I didn't like about MMA, Yari. I never liked cutting weight and stressing my body out like that. It's pretty insane that you were doing both at the same time for a minute there, that you were competing in amateur boxing and bodybuilding. They kind of seem like antonyms, no? I
yeah.
mean, like when you're training for bodybuilding, um are you able to, like, how much different is your weightlifting now that you're training just for boxing, because you still have a ton of size on you, brother, but
So
it must be completely different.
yeah, it's completely different. I never do anything as far as like, oh, today's arm day or chest day or anything like that. What I do is literally strength conditioning. I have a guy that I work with for that too.
Yeah,
So he takes me through all my strength conditioning. I do a lot of my home at home by myself too, but I don't do anything as far as like, I don't go to the gym and say I'm hitting arms today or I'm hitting shoulders like that. None of that stuff. It's literally
gotcha.
all strength conditioning and it takes a half hour and I'm fried, you know?
Right.
So I actually had to condition my body to get, to sort of, I don't know what's the right word, break the muscle down so it becomes more athletic. Because when I first started boxing again, I was dying. I'd have nasty calf cramps. My shoulders were fatigued. My arms were dead, and I couldn't do anything. And obviously, I kept pushing, and I got myself to the point where I can do this, But
Yeah.
I stopped weightlifting completely. And to be honest with you, as far as like going in and having those isolation like workouts, I have no interest in doing so because now I'm used to training, 2 or 3 minute rounds, a quick 30-second break, and right back at it. So I'm not going to go to the gym and sit around and, wait to get on the machine. And I just can't do it.
Understood.
But
I mean, you've done it for so long, right? I
yeah,
mean, when take me to the beginning because you started with bodybuilding, not boxing. Am I correct?
no, I actually started before I knew you. I was going over to Team Kern way back in the day. I went to Kern and I went to, after there, I was at like Wrecking Ball for a little bit when they were in Lakemore.
Got
And then
you.
I ended up at Energy. And then after that, after all the injuries, I was like, you know what? When Energy fell apart. And then in 2014 is when I did my first bodybuilding show. I
Wow.
had
Okay.
I had a chest tear, and I got into like kind of a depression. I sat on the couch, and I gained a lot of weight, and I got up to like 233 pounds, like real blubby. And I decided, you know what? Enough of this.
Mm.
I'm going to do a bodybuilding show and get disciplined. And I got down in 16 weeks to from 233 to 172.
I've seen that before and after you posted. Come to think of it,
So
that's what you're
yeah,
talking about, right? The 16-week difference.
yeah. But what's cool is because I box heavyweight and I don't cut weight because I'm underweight, because I'm
Okay.
disciplined with my eating and I do
Sure.
so much cardio and training where I don't have to worry about the weight. It's never been an issue to me. My last fight, I weighed in at 193. The other guy was 205. The cutoff is 203 in my weight class because we're dinosaurs, we're masters. And they cut us off at 203. They gave him a 2 pounds. He was 205. Because anything over 205, you could fight a guy that's 275,
Yeah.
which I don't want to do with my height.
Got you.
That's just
Got
too
you.
much of a weight difference. But I walk around. So with bodybuilding, I used to walk around, quote unquote, the off season, like 225 ish. That was my walk around weight. And then I'd cut down to, the last couple shows I moved up in weight, I cut down to about 189. But I walk around now at 195 pounds or so
Got you.
with no
Got you.
issues. I don't worry about cutting weight. I eat clean, except for Saturday nights, I go crazy.
One night a week? Why is that?
That's it. Well, because on Sundays I don't train, so
Okay.
it doesn't affect me. I
I
don't mess
see.
around during the week because I don't want it to affect my performance. I don't care about the
Interesting.
weight so much the appearance, but I'm that guy that I care about optimal performance. So if I'm going to eat shit, I know the next day if I
Yeah.
go boxing, I'm going to be sluggish and slower. So I don't do it.
Right.
I eat
Gotcha.
clean, healthy food. That just works best for me. And I know a lot of other guys can get away with it, but I can't. And I know my body, like I do my own nutrition now. So
Okay.
during the week, I just eat super, super clean.
You do your own nutrition now. So you used
Yes.
to work with a nutritionist?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For bodybuilding, I had to. That's how I learned. I worked with a couple different coaches and I've learned a lot of different methods. So, but I'm able to use some of it, and work, apply it towards what I'm doing now. The crazy thing is in combat sports, I actually eat more carbs now than I ever have, but I run right through them, you
Because you're
know,
working. You're
because you're
you're you're
working.
burning
Yeah.
calories.
Right. Right.
Got
And
got
before it's funny because I laugh at some of my bodybuilder friends who wake up in the morning and they complain. They're like, oh, I got to walk on the treadmill or the Stairmaster for 30 to 45 minutes fasted. I'm like, dude, that's nothing.
Right, right,
Why don't you try running and doing sprints and doing all this stuff, like, and I
right.
used
Do
to
some
think
butt
that was
sprints.
really hard. And I used to
Yeah.
complain about it. Now I laugh. I'm like, that's nothing, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's a dogma out there like if you do cardio, you lose your gains. Here you're telling me that bodybuilders are purposely doing minimal cardio. What are they doing that for? Just to burn the calories, just to lean out?
So it depends on where they're at with, some bodybuilders in their off season do no cardio. Some do a little bit, to help keep the weight off, or obviously, cardio is good for your heart, you know,
Absolutely.
but when they get ready for a competition, most of them will have to do more cardio to burn the calories and get the
Gotcha.
metabolism going, but they're doing
Gotcha.
like fasted cardio walking or on a stairmaster. And I used to think it was really hard, but it's
Yeah.
like when I transitioned to boxing and all the running that I had to do,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. I didn't start running until I was 41. I never ran ever. And now I'm addicted to running. Like, I hate the fact that I'm in
Nice.
Illinois and it's so cold. So I have to do it on my treadmill and I hate it. But in the summertime, I love
You-
being outside at
You're
5 in the
outside.
morning
Nice.
and running. Like, I'll
Nice.
see the sun come up by the time I'm done. I'll do 5 miles like it's nothing. I'll just zone out.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
In the
Awesome.
summertime. I enjoy it. It's like mental clarity to me.
Yeah, so one of the reasons I moved from Illinois to Huntington Beach, California is because I got the beach path right out there. So
I
when I'm
see
feeling it, I tighten up those shoelaces. I head out that door. I got the ocean on my left side. I got, beautiful beach on my right side. It's just the best, Yari. So
I seen it, man. You're
I'm
living the
blessed out
dream,
here,
man.
man. If you ever come to Huntington, we'll go for a run. Yeah.
I've always wanted to, I'll have to.
Yeah, come on. I mean, this is the hub of MMA gyms. Like, if you want to go box, we'll go over to Ruka with Jason Perillo. Shout out to Ruka. Where is it at? Right here. Shout out to Ruka. We could go, King's MMA, HB Ultimate Training Center. I mean, the list goes on, man. And boxing gyms too out here in Long Beach and whatnot. You've got a
Everything.
Goose Boxing. I mean, it's just, there's no shortage of places to train. And
Yeah.
honestly, man, since moving here, I don't see many obese people, brother. This is like the culture out here is about fitness. So you'd
Yeah.
fit right in, my man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've never been to California. I've always wanted to go.
I mean, California is so big it might as well be its own country, but I've seen a map. This is a pretty good joke, pretty good meme. I've seen a map of California, and then it shows Orange County, and it's circled, and it just says Florida. And I thought that was perfect. That's exactly right, man.
That's awesome.
It's like the entire state is super, super far left, and Orange County is like Republican, and during these lockdowns and shit, the Huntington Beach Police Department put out a notice like, we will not enforce this. If you call us because somebody's not wearing a mask, we're not showing up. It's an interesting little microcosm we've got here in California. So I don't
Very
know
cool.
how similar we are to San Francisco. Probably not too many similarities, other than it's beautiful here, man. So definitely blessed to be able to train outside. And I don't know if you run in the sand. Do you ever try running in the sand? That shit's hard, man.
No, I haven't, but I know it's hard. Even walking in the sand is hard.
Hell yeah. So some
But
sand
man, it's
sprints are no
crazy. Like,
joke, man.
I love running. It's such a, like, you get our people were telling me like about a runner's high. I'm like, yeah, right. That shit don't exist. Oh, it exists.
Yeah. It's a drug, man.
It
It's
is.
a
It is.
high. Exactly right.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Like, and I can't wait for it to get warm outside so I can run outside again. That's my
It
thing,
wasn't
man.
warm when I was there, bro. When I was there
No.
for Christmas, I think with the wind chill, it was negative 32. I'm like,
Yep.
fuck this. Get me back home, man. That
That's
was
why
too
you
much
remember
for
why
me.
you moved.
Yeah, dude, I got the thin California blood now. I don't know. You guys could keep that cold shit.
I hate it.
Whoa.
I hate it.
That is crazy. But you know what? It's where all my family is. I'll be back every single year. All right, so you're running now. You're training a little differently. I want to start getting into condemned labs a little bit
Sure.
now. So like, let's say you got a 20-year-old who's just sort of starting to get into mixed martial arts or bodybuilding. You talked about a lot about nutrition at this point. It seems to me that a lot of these things could be gained from just changing your diet. Why should an athlete or somebody who wants to get hypertrophy, grow their muscles, why should they choose to take supplements? Or do you think it's up to the individual? Should every athlete out there, should we just say blanket statement, they will benefit from supplementation?
So, you know me, man, I'm brutally honest, right?
I like that.
So I will never say everyone will benefit from it, because there's
Okay.
always those people that, regardless of what supplement they may take, may not interact well with them.
Got it.
It just happens. You know what I mean? So I will never say that it'll be beneficial for everyone. And I'm not even like my pre-workout or any of my supplements that I use. I will never say they're the best. I say they're the best for me
I see.
because you may react differently than I react to it because we're
Sure.
all individuals, right? Not to sound cheesy, but it's the truth. But I will say that if you're able to take supplements and they react well with your body, if you want to be, your most optimal, you want to get the most recovery you can, supplements on top of nutrition and training is the way to go. You get all three of those things, then you got everything going for you. It's just like, you got that guy say he trains his ass off, but he eats like an asshole and he's not getting any sleep. But you know what I
Guilty,
mean?
bro. You put it in my bio, my man.
But you know what I mean? It's like you're not fully, optimal. But again, if you were going into a fight, you probably wouldn't do that.
Oh, sure. I could be that's my thing though, Yari. If I have a date, I can be disciplined, bro. The
See,
way
right.
you live a clean lifestyle is very impressive to me, you know? For
I
me, if I'm
enjoy it.
like, all right, in 2 months I gotta get in a fist fight, everything can be focused for 2 months.
Yes.
But after
Yes.
that, I'm going to Steak and Shake. I want a big ass burger. I want some French fries. I've actually been able to change my diet a little bit recently though, and it has been good. I've been having some stomach problems, and that actually finally got me to change my diet a little bit, and it has been really good for me. But
Good.
away from me and back to that average person. So is it fair to say then that people should maybe try supplements and see how they react? Like
Now,
for
that I
me, I
would say
don't necessarily
100%.
need a pre-workout, but I'll tell you what, I started taking some of the supplements that you were kind enough to let me try. The creatine and the amino acids and the protein whey isolate I've been taking. I feel like I recover much better from
Oh,
workouts, man. I got to think most people have that reaction that I did.
like I'm not going to sit there and get into all the science things, but you can read about creatine and, our body naturally produces it. It's found in red meat, and again, I don't do all the ingredients and none of that shit, but yeah, I love that product.
There
Creatine
it is.
lockdown. Yes. There you go. Thanks for the
Creatine
plug.
lockdown. All right. So when I used to hear about creatine, people would say, don't take this if you're a fighter because you're going to retain water. This is not good for a fighter. Now that I'm actually taking it, I feel like I recover much better from my
Yes.
workouts. Now I'm trying to separate it from the amino acid mix that, of course, has to play a role as well. But so far, so good, Yari. You like creatine for your workout, for your supplementation as well, yes?
100%. It's, so in the morning, I train fasted. And I always tell people, like, I use my supplements sometimes a little different. Like the creatine, when I was weight training, I would take it before or during. Now that I train fasted in the morning, my morning routine is fasted. No anything, a little bit of water, but otherwise it's fasted. I take my creatine immediately after for the recovery purposes because you feel depleted, you feel drained, so you get that creatine back in you to kind of feel better, so to speak. And our product has taurine in there, which taurine binds to the muscle for recovery. So I take our lockdown specifically after, but I always tell other people if you're doing weights, you could take it before or during. So I use it after. And same with
Gotcha.
the aminos. Like in the morning, I'll use the aminos after, and during boxing, I'll sip on them. We're redoing the
Very good.
flavors on those, by the way.
The amino. What do I think of the flavors? Really
We are redoing them, so they're going to be better.
They're gonna be better. They're already good, bro. What do you mean they're gonna be better? What, you're
They're going to be
changing them
better.
up on me?
They're going to be better.
All right, all right. I'll try it out. Was this pink stardust? I think I like the creatine the best. What do you got? Yeah, fruit punch. The
Yeah,
fruit
fruit punch is
punch
really good.
creatine, nice. The stardust, I mean, not bad. Honestly, let me tell you this. When I first tried some supplements when I was like, 17 years old, going to like Arnold Sports Festival and just running around with my bag, just getting all the
Yeah,
free
yeah, yeah.
samples I could out of everybody, they tasted like shit, dude. The supplements sucked. Anytime I had a freaking protein bar, it tasted
It
like
was
ass.
horrible. Yes.
Anytime, all of them were bad. I went to the Arnold's a couple years ago. Now shit's like candy, man. People
Yes.
have really figured out how to make this stuff taste good.
It,
You guys are
it,
gonna level up one more level, huh?
yes. It's crazy because like people be like, oh, I don't care what it tastes like as long as it works. And I'm like, no, that's stupid mentality. I'm like, you spend your hard-earned money on a
Right.
supplement. It should taste good. Like, why buy something that doesn't taste good? I don't want to have to force anything down. Like, I don't know
Right.
if you had a chance to try our pre-workout. Like, it's very enjoyable.
Got the pre-workout. I'm so glad I took your advice and took less because I was bouncing off the freaking walls when I took this stuff, brother. I
It's
got to tell
strong.
you, man, I don't drink coffee. I don't, I no uppers. I don't need any uppers. I got energy
Yes, you
naturally.
do.
Can you tell,
Yes,
Yari?
you
But
do.
that pre-workout, man, I think I did. So I'm like, okay, I'll work out for 20 minutes. I think I did an hour, and then I trained a couple clients, and then I was like, you know what? I didn't hit my legs today. I did another hour, man. So
It
that pre-workout is rocket fuel, brother.
it's legit, and there's no crash off of it, but it's very strong. That's why, like, we started off talking about it. I always tell people to take less just to access your tolerance. So you're not like
Yeah.
in an almost overkill mode
Great
where,
advice.
like you don't know what to do with yourself. You know what I mean? And some people, they're like, oh, I can handle it. I've done this pre-workout and I've done this pre-workout. And I'm like, but not everything is made the same. We react different to everything. So
Facts.
start lower, access tolerance, make sure you're comfortable, and then go up from there. You know, that's just a safe way to do everything.
Do you use a pre-workout?
Always, I have to, except for the morning. Well, no, in the morning I use the arsonist, which is a fat burner. I do use that in the morning, but I'm
Okay.
fasted. You know, so I do use the arsonist in the morning, and then before I train, I take a half a scoop of convict. Yes, but on strength
Got you.
conditioning, I'll do one scoop.
Got you.
So I
Full
have
scoop.
to,
Yeah.
but
When I go to spar, like if I'm gonna go spar, I used to like to take what was it called? I don't even have to give them a shout out. Ravage, that's what it was. When I would go to Energy MMA to go spar you or Tyler Dempsey or Mike Hayden or Justin Hamilton, shout out to the whole team. I'd go take one scoop. My skin would be tingling. I'd be gripping that steering wheel on my way to the gym. Is that the type of effect you're looking for, or you just
no,
want a little more pep in your step?
no, I want a little bit more pep in my step, and
Gotcha.
I also want, like, the convict has a good zoom in. Like, you felt it,
Yeah.
like you're zoomed in. You feel
Yeah.
euphoric. You feel good. I don't
Yeah.
want to be to the point where you're wired. Like, if you're weight training, it's cool because you're like, I can do all these curls, and in MMA, like, and I'm still learning from it. In any combat sport, you also want to be relaxed, especially when you're sparring and throwing a lot of punches and moving your head.
Right.
So I went into it the hard way. I didn't know these things. So I'm like, oh shit, I need to bring the pre-workout down a little bit because it's strong, you know? And so I brought it down to a half a scoop, and that's my sweet spot. That's all that I
Perfect.
need for, my boxing. It's enough to give me that feel good, to give me the energy, to give me the focus, and I'm not like off the wall. But that's
Perfect,
why I
man.
tell people everybody reacts differently to everything. So I always tell
Yeah.
people start less, access tolerance.
I love that advice, Yari. That's very reasonable advice from somebody who's been there, done that, tried it. Yeah, there's no reason to take too much. Like I know some of my friends who they're like, oh, I'm gonna take a protein scoop and a half. I'm like, I don't even think your body can process that much. Like, why are you, why why
Well,
why why are you going overboard? I feel like that's the best advice you can give somebody. Sort of experiment, see how your
right.
body reacts to it and go based off of that reaction.
Part of the reason that I put out that information and I say those things is because I never had that guidance. I learned
Mm,
everything in life the hard way.
mm,
Everything.
mm.
So when I first came back to boxing and I had that fight in 2021, I took it on 8 weeks notice, right? And the guy that I was working with at the time didn't even show up to the gym. So I was by myself. I had nobody to hold pads for me. Like, I had no clue what I was doing. I was just hitting the bag, you know, and I was just lost. And it sucked. You know what I mean? Like, I had to figure things out on my own, and I wasn't fully prepared. So luckily I didn't get hurt. Nothing bad happened to me. But like, I'm one of those guys that I learn everything from experience, and I learn everything the hard way, you know? But at least I
Oh,
learned. And so that's why I like putting that information out there. So if somebody wants to use it and apply it and it helps them, then I'm winning, you know?
hell yeah. Yeah. So is that your motivation now? You trying to help people? I see your social media feed, and it seems like you really do enjoy sort of helping people achieve their goals, man. Like talk to me about what your goals are now in 2023. You're managing this supplement company. You're still competing in martial arts. So I know you got some competition goals, but sort of what is Yari's 10-year goal at this point?
10 years. Well, so the goal for this year, a couple things on an athlete level is I am doing the Chicago Golden Gloves in the dinosaur division masters.
The dinosaur division.
Yeah.
If it's the dinosaur division, we got to ask Yari, what kind of dinosaur are you?
I am the dinosaur that I don't know how you want to say it. That's going to wreck another dinosaur brutally.
A
Brutally.
T-Rex.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
Short arms, but very painful, you know? So that's the goal with that. And I'm not going to lie, like being at Ben's gym and seeing those guys, it like makes me want to get on the ground and try some things again too, just to
Hell
learn
yeah.
them and relearn them. I have no interest in really competing MMA as of right now, but I would definitely like to start learning some more things, going back to doing some groundwork and stuff like that. But so the Golden Gloves, that's the main goal. So I'm actually going to start full camp next week. And it's cool because now I have Ben, I have people at my gym. Ben actually linked me up with his personal boxing coach, which I've been training with.
Awesome.
So I feel really, really good. I'm ready in shape. So it's going to be good. On a personal, I mean, on a company level with Condemned, I really want this company to skyrocket. We have a lot of good supplements. We're an edgy brand. We care about performance and recovery. And, we don't sugarcoat things. We don't lie about things. And we just need a few more good pieces and we can make this happen. We've only been around for 7 years, technically, and I've been with them for 5, the longest.
Well, I see you guys are doing things differently. I mean, even just the way these things are packaged, you guys have got they got like stories on here. I'm
Yes,
like,
yes.
I'm like bored in the morning, like reading this shit. I'm like, man, I'm getting fucking amped just reading these stories on the side here. So, very, very cool what you guys are doing. You're
You
trying to
know,
do something a little different.
yeah, the company started in the freaking Brooklyn basement, bro.
Wow.
That like a regular guy, who didn't come from money, started it in a Brooklyn basement, and now there's huge warehouses. Like there's so many things going on, and I got to help build that, and be the part of the process. So I'm learning every single day too, which is cool. We're networking with people, we're talking to people. It's just awesome, man. And I care about the company. It's crazy. Like to me, it's more important than my day job, which I can't
Mm.
stand. But the company, man, there's so much reward for it, and being able to talk to people and meet people. And when people use my code, right? Like I've said it's not just using my code. To me, every time somebody uses my code, it's exciting. And I think to myself, I'm like, holy shit, people support me. Like, who am I? Like, I have a code now. I'm with the company. And like, I look at where I was years ago. Never did I think I would have any kind of influence on
Mm.
anybody. And not saying I'm an influencer because I'm far from that, but just to have some influence where people want to spend their money on what
Yeah.
I'm talking about and promoting. It's very humbling, man. It's an unreal feeling. It really is.
That's beautiful, man. And I see you guys sponsoring the fighters at this point, which is kind of where your two worlds blend, right? The bodybuilding with the fighting. So you guys are sponsoring some bare knuckle fighting championships fighters. I'm sure you've seen that I've done some work for bare knuckle fighting
Yes.
championships at this point. I'm breaking down the fights. I'll be predicting Ben Rothwell's next fight with them. So don't come after me. I got to tell people the truth, what I think. I know Big Ben's
Hey,
a BMF. He's a big, bad man. So, and he got knockout of the year last year, if I'm not
yes.
mistaken.
Yeah.
So, you guys got some killers on the list for sure. Why sponsor bare knuckle fighters?
Man, because they're edgy and they fit, you know? And let's be real, who else is doing that? No other supplement companies want to work with fighters. And me having
Right.
a love for fighting, I told the owner of the company, and he trusts me, and he's also a fan of combat sports. Let's work with some fighters, man. Let's branch out.
Nice.
Nobody
Nice.
else is really doing that. So we linked up with some really good guys, And
Yeah.
the crazy thing is, and most of them have never even really used supplements on a regular. And to
Mm.
hear how much it's helped them, dude, I love hearing that. You know what I mean? Again, not for everybody, but some people it's really, really made a difference for in their training camps.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's made a difference for me. I mean, I coach at UFC Gym Huntington Beach, so I work a lot of hours on my feet, and then I'm also trying to lift, and I'm also trying to do jujitsu,
Yeah,
and I'm
you're
also
busy.
trying to kickbox, and it helps me recover absolutely. I mean, I remember back at Energy MMA when we would train together, and back when I was with the fight team there, I'd go home so sore.
Mhm.
I needed some type of amino acid protein mix. I mean, it definitely makes a difference for me. So I'm sure
Yeah,
you're helping a lot of people, a lot of athletes, but a lot of regular people, man.
yeah.
And
And
if
people
you can
don't
help
know
people
about
achieve
these
your
things.
goals,
And so, we tell them, like, I like to tell them, like, for optimal performance and optimal recovery, this is what I do. It's
yeah,
not necessarily going to work for everybody, but,
right,
it's trial and error, just like anything else in life. Try it.
yeah,
You got to try
yeah,
it. But, those days of where I'm just going to eat whatever, train my ass off and get sleep here and there, it's not going to work.
right, right.
you know?
It, and in competitive sports, I mean, you
Right.
want to have every advantage you can get. If you could recover better, if you could work out harder, that's a big deal. All right.
Right.
So Yari, let's say they want to try it. How do people go from listening to this interview to trying Condemned Lab supplements?
So first things first, if they have any questions, they can hit me up on Instagram at Yari513. I'll be glad to help people and guide them to the best that I can and give
Awesome.
them my inside information on it. And then otherwise, like, my link for my discount code is in my bio, so they can use that directly and it'll give them 10% off. So it's literally in my bio, or if they just go to condemnedlabs.com, my code is Yari. So that would be the
Perfect.
best way. But I'm glad to answer any questions. I do it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. I got truck drivers that use the Convict just to stay awake because they don't want the energy drinks. They prefer to drink the
Stop.
Convict
Really?
pre-workout. I swear, man, it's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we
Nice,
have,
man.
I have a friend from Antioch. He's a world champion bench presser. Him and his whole team, they use our products. So it's not just for bodybuilders. It's not just for fighters. It's for everyone. Anybody who wants to reach their fitness goals. Again, as long as your body reacts to it, it can really help for optimal performance and recovery.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man who's competed in bodybuilding, boxing, a guy who's managing a supplement company, one of the hardest working humans I know, somebody who's really
Appreciate it.
out there to help people. And he told you guys you can hit him up directly on social media and he will help you guys out. If you're interested in trying any supplements, talk to Yari first. That's what I did. And I'm definitely glad that I got the opportunity to try some of these supplements. They've definitely made a difference in my training. If you
Glad
guys
to
want
hear
to
it.
know what Yari's doing or have anything for him, take that advice, hit him up, and that's a phenomenal avenue for people who are interested. Man, I got so much respect for you and what you're
Thank
doing,
you.
Yari. I really see that you're coming from a good place to help people. You're a good person. I know you got that shirt that says underdog, but you look like a superhero, brother. You look like the favorite to me, my man, and it's all through your own hard work over a long period of time, too. I mean, motivation is fleeting. Yari, you are a disciplined human being. It's been an absolute honor of mine to have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate your time. And Yari, I got to think, man, if you're at one of these bare knuckle fighting championship shows, we're going to have to run into each other. And when I come back, I'm going to take you up on that training
You
bit.
better,
We'll
man.
make
You
a little
better.
video and we'll link up.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me on, man. And I see you doing your thing. I'm glad for you, man.
I appreciate that, Yari. I gotta live my dream, man. You only
That's
live
right.
once,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
I don't want to save nothing. My dad always told me be a policeman, be a firefighter so you could save up for retirement, get a pension. I'm like, I'm not gonna live my life to be old. I'm gonna live my life right now. I'm doing exactly what I like to do. I'm working
There you
for
go.
Bellator, bare knuckle fighting championships, the UFC gym, coaching and doing the things I love. I see you also embedded in that as well. And so I think if people could take our advice, it's like, do it now. You know the famous Rocky quote, there is no
No
tomorrow,
tomorrow,
right?
man.
There is no
Yes.
there is
There
no
is no tomorrow.
tomorrow. It's like go
And
ahead and get it done now. Yari,
and
that's
I
how you
always
live your
say,
life. That's how I'm
sorry,
living
real
mine.
quick on top of that, not that I am by any means successful, but I say success waits for no one. And that's in anything you want to do in life. Just get after it.
Powerful. Powerful. Get after it, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. All right, that was it with Yari Kaganovsky. Appreciate your time, Yari.
Thank
See you
you.
soon, my brother.
Thank you.